All right, guys, welcome back to Ox Tools. I'm Tom. So today what we have is actually an interesting tool test. A viewer sent this to me and asked if I would do some testing for him and show the test on camera. Well, this is kind of a neat tool, and what it is, let's open it up, and as a kind of a special appreciation thing, he made me a special box here. This is Brandon Nichols from Mulberry, Arkansas, and he's got his little company called DB Customs, and he makes stuff. Well, this is one of the things that he makes, and what this is it's a rotary broach, okay, or a wobble broach, okay, and I got some cutters here, and we can take a look at those. So these are commercial rotary broaches here, and so what this unit does is you can use it in the lathe or the mill, and you can produce polygons. Basically, you can cut square corners or square holes or hexagonal holes or Torx holes or any number of polygons. So it's kind of interesting. There's a few folks on the web that are making these. Brandon reached out to me and asked if I'd be willing to do a test, and I said, yeah, I'll do a test, but it'll be an honest test. If I don't like it, I'll tell folks I don't like it. Okay, so and he was totally okay with that, and which is the right thing. You don't want to have a biased evaluation. Okay, so anyway, let's take a look at this thing. It's pretty good. Got some spare parts in here. These are extra bearings. So these units typically are a little hard on the bearings. So if you use it a lot, then you'll end up swapping the bearings. Now, and these bearings aren't particularly expensive here. These are probably less than $20 each. So. And then I'll put some links in the description so that you can get in contact with Brandon. He sells these on the web. They're in the $350 range, which is a really reasonable price for a custom tool. So let's pull this out. Now, like I said, this is going to be an honest evaluation. So I played around with it a little bit, and the tool works great, and I love it. The box leaves a little to be desired. It's a little tight. This is typical machinist behavior here. You need some finger grabbers so you can pull this stuff out easily, okay? Fit and finish look really nice, okay? Brandon, I would suggest marking your tools somehow, figuring out how to mark them so that you put your information on them. Everybody else is doing it, so there's Polygon and Slater. It's important to put your name on things so people can figure out how to get a hold of you. If this was at a flea market, I might know what that is, but I sure as heck wouldn't know who made it, okay? So ID that stuff. So 3/4 straight shank on it. I don't know if he has other options for shanks. I'm not sure. And let's see if you can see this here, hopefully. So I'm going to rotate this. Now what I want you to watch is I want you to watch this hub here, and you'll see that it's kind of wagging around. Okay, well that's the wobble action of the broach, and the way that works is, actually let's use this big one here, and you'll see that the broach is larger at this end than it is at this end. Well, what happens is the broach doesn't rotate, it kind of does this in its orbital action, and this edge, since it's relieved, cuts, right? So it kind of pushes material ahead of it, and it has it's kind of like a chiseling action, okay? And you can see the draft on that, okay? All right. Now, so he's got some tool holders here, and once again, these are a little snug here, okay? And these are great, okay? Except when you have one of these, all right? So box closes, right? So box doesn't close, okay? So once again, Brandon, the box needs a little bit of work, but it sure is a nice box, okay? I mean, look at that. Let's see, there it is. Kind of a book match sort of box there, okay? All right, so I've got some holes prepped over on the mill. And so let's go put this up in the milling machine, and I'll give a demo on how it cuts a polygonal hole, okay? All right, let's give this little pup a try here. So I've prepared some holes here, all right, and we're going to do we'll do this hex here. And so part of the prep is this edge chamfer here. What we want is that edge chamfer to be just a whisker bigger than the corner-to-corner dimension of the polygon there, okay? That way it has a good place to bite and start, and just kind of helps the process. Now, these are through holes. You can do blind holes, but you need a space at the bottom of the hole for the chips to collect or to break off. Ideally, it has a little something that looks like a snap ring groove at the bottom, so the chip can actually break and you can get it out of there. That's ideal. Not totally necessary. I mean, if you look inside well, this is a pretty good one here. These are done hot here when they do these, but you see some have, you know, if you've looked at socket head screws, big ones, some of them you can see that they've been shaved in there. So, okay, so let's put this in here. A little flat there. This fits nice. Let's lock it to the flat. And so for this particular unit here, it needs broaches that are 1.75 inches long. The length is important because the amount of wobble is related to the clearance that's on the side of the broach. So you can't use a broach that's, you know, 2 feet long in here, or one that's a lot shorter either. Well, shorter might work, but these come in standard length. Lengths is what I'm trying to say there. I'm just not saying it very well. All right. I can't see what I'm doing here. I should have put this in ahead of time, but figured I'd put it in on camera. Okay, there I'm on the flat. Push up all the way. Make sure it's seated. Let's put the Gronk on this. Okay, that looks good. All right. That's probably a little fast. Let's run that. That's 800 RPM. We'll start with that. We'll try that. And I don't know what. Let's make a hole. What do you think? Huh? All right. So I'm already lined up. So what I'm going to use my little stand square here somehow, and to orient one of the flats here with the world. Something looks a little funny there. Am I off on my hole? Let's see. I had a good zero. It should be there. Now these are just drilled holes, and these have a little bit of clearance. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little pressure on that to make those corners bite. Okay. So there's full form and partial form. So, you know, for easy broaching, you're going to have a hole that's slightly larger than the flat dimensions. You know, enough to get the corners, but not enough so it's pushing all the way around. So I believe I changed diameters on this hole here. So this is full form and this is a little bit of clearance. So, so I think we're ready. Let's see here. Get that out of the way. Put a little liquid love on there just for good measure. All right. So I'm going to put a little pressure on it to start with. Then I'm going to start the spindle, and I don't want it to spin. You'll see that the broach doesn't turn with this operation. Now you see that? Okay, I'm just going to bump it there. So you see that wobbling, and it's cutting. The handle's moving down here. So let's just go for it. So it's going through quite easily. broach is nice and sharp. And I could go faster, or I mean, I could feed harder, but this feels, okay, there it is. And it's just that easy. Pull it out, and there's a hexagonal hole. Now what's interesting here, let's look at these chips. See that? See they're kind of striated there? That's because it's shaving as it goes down. And let me that off, okay? That's a sweet looking hole. Oh, okay, here, and you can see this too. You see there's a little bit of the hole left, so it just kind of knocked the corners out there. But that is a hexagonal hole. All right, let's do another one here, because I think this one is full form here. Go to 1.5. That's what those numbers are. It's just so I remember where the heck those are. All right, let's reorient with the world here. Okay, get that started. Kind of set it. Liquid love. All right, punch it. And there she goes. Yeah, it's actually, this thing works great. It's smooth, not making any noise. That one took a little more pressure. All right. Well, maybe that one's got clearance too. No, the hole looks like it was the same diameter. Okay, I'm sorry, I misspoke there. So there it is. That's a wobble broach. Okay, and I know you guys want to know. You guys want to see this big one, right? I know you do. Let's just do it. Well, something didn't look right there, does it? No, that's the right hole. Yeah, for a second something didn't quite look right. Now you can see that this one's going to lop out quite a bit in the corners there. So let's give that one a go. Let me reset the camera and swap the broach out, and we'll do the big Magumba there. All right, let's do this big guy here. Set that. And that one's gonna be cutting a lot. All right, so I put a little pressure on it to get it started there, and get the corners to bite. Let's see what happens with this one here. I haven't run this one yet. I've run the Hex one a few times, so. Okay, considerably more pressure on this one. I'm watching the quill readout. It's going down pretty slow. Yeah, this is considerable pressure here. Now, I don't know what's inside there for a thrust bearing, but it better have something good. So I'm backing off the pressure and putting pressure on. And I think it stopped. I think it stopped cutting. Yeah, okay. So I think I need a larger hole for this particular one. Yeah, you see that? Okay. So this is probably my fault here. The tool's doing what it's supposed to be doing, but I think I need a bigger hole. Interesting. So this is equal to the flats right now. I'm going to open that hole up a little bit, and let's come back and we'll try that again. Okay. So you see how much material it's pushing there. But looking at the inner, yeah, okay, I need a bigger hole on that one. So let me drill that out and we'll go again. Okay, so I opened this hole up. The broach, this particular square broach, is 630 across the flats, and I opened the hole up to 21/32, which is 656. So this will minimize, how much material it has to push out of there. So let's get reoriented in the in our little starting grooves there. can do that. This thing's so, oh, there it goes. Isn't it? This thing's so damn sharp. It wants to bite in those corners immediately. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Let's give this a go again and see what happens here. Once again, a lot of pressure. It doesn't feel like it's. I don't feel a cutting action. It's more like I'm actually physically broaching this. Oh no, it's moving. Okay. I got a lot of pressure on the quill handle here. Alright, let's pull out of there and see how we're doing there. Oh yeah, it's really mowing that stuff. Well, it still looks like it's damn full form there. What's going on? I should be well over the. I don't know. I got some hole there. Huh, interesting. All right. Well, let's keep going there. So the hole diameter plays a huge part in how this behaves here. This is taking a lot of pressure. Look at that, and that's just really fine stuff there. Let me clean that a little bit. All right, let's do it again. I'd say this thing needs an even bigger hole. There, it's going. Maybe cleaning that chip out of there help. All right, well, it still needs a bigger hole, in my opinion. Let me let's see if we can. Wow, that's solid stuff there. Yeah, you know, this thing still needs a bigger hole. Huh. All right, well, there's looks like there's some magic on sizing the hole nicely, you know, as a percentage of the oversize of the broach. But, interesting. Well, can we finish this thing or what? It's not moving anymore. Okay, I gotta open that hole some more. So we were at 650, and that's 630, so let's go up another 15 thousandths on that hole. Okay, so I increased the hole actually quite a bit. The broach is 630 across the flats, and now this is 690, 688 hole diameter, starting hole. Now you can still see that there's plenty of corner left to make a square out of this. But you know, this is, I believe, a large broach for this size unit. So let's go back in there. Let's see if I can orient again. Get back in there. Okay, there, I'm back in there. Get some liquid love in there. All right, let's see if we can finish this thing. Now, one thing about putting the drill through there is it clears all that chip out of there. Like I said, this is a lot of pressure on the quill here. I would say this is, okay, it's going. There it is, all right. This may be kind of a maximum for this size here. Okay. All right, now you can kind of see too, you know, there's the drilled hole, and then there's the corners that got chewed out with the broach. So the cutting action on this larger one didn't feel as nice as these here. So like I said, I think it was related to my hole diameter there. So obviously you can get through there, but and it is square. Okay, let's see that. It's pretty square, right? So it looks good. But you can see that the you know, we took out most of the material, so it's really just chiseling out the corners there, kind of mortising the corners there. Okay. All right. So let's go back for conclusions, and then we'll wrap this up. Okay. So back over on the bench here. Conclusions are that this is actually a nice tool. I like it. I had a little trouble with this large broach, but I attribute that trouble to my inexperience with this tool. It worked great with the hex. Haven't tried the little square. I think you know, with large broaches like this, they're going to be more sensitive to the starting hole diameter than the little guys. That was a pretty good push on the quill there. And as you can see, it makes polygon holes, so it works great. The tool's well made, it's well finished, and the price point is pretty awesome at roughly $350. And you know, the amount of work that goes into this, you know, honestly, I would probably buy this tool as opposed to making it myself. And you know, the goal is what do you want to use it for, right? Yeah, it's fun to make tools, but a lot of times what you care about is making a hex hole in your own project. Okay, so you know, I don't know. So it could be a fun project too. So, but anyway, Brandon makes them. And you'd be helping out a fellow metal worker if you buy a tool from him. And anyway, go to his site and check it out. I'll put a link on the screen here, and there'll be a link in the description. You can go talk to him, and if you're interested in one of these. So, Brandon, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to test this nice tool you made. And like I said, my advice is put your name in. Put your name in your tools, you know, maybe a little flat, and put your DB Customs little logo on there or something like that. Machine it in, laser something, and then the other thing is I would suggest that you stock some brooches for folks too. So I don't think Brandon currently sells brooches, but you can check with him. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys, and see you later.